Hey guys, this is Justin.
And Joy, and we've got a great episode for you today.
If you're currently a renter, we're going to give you 5 reasons why you should absolutely be an owner. You don't want to miss this one.
It's real, raw, and uncut. Like there is no sugarcoating. We're real about it. If you're real people, message us. Ron Uncut.
What's up, guys? This is Justin.
Hey, it's Enjoy.
And that opening gets me every time.
You say that every time.
I know, but it just gets me every time.
That's what the whole point is.
Yeah. If you're real people, message us. Guys, we're excited to give you another episode here today. But before we get into that, I do want to remind you that this episode is brought to you by our friends over at Next Door Lending. Next Door Lending is a team of professionals that believe everyone should be treated as if they live next door. The founders and team members have more than 150 years of combined loan experience, helping clients all over the country choose the best loan program to help you accomplish your goals. Next Door Lending is currently licensed in over 26 states and has a team of over 100 loan officers specializing in helping you get the best rate and terms. And so whether you're looking to refinance your home or you're looking to purchase your next home, call our friends over at Next Door Lending today at 888-885-3667 or visit their website at nextdoorlending.com. And so if you're loving the show, do us a favor. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button here on your YouTube or your favorite podcast platform. And if you're really loving the show, let us know. Give us a 5-star review. Joy and I love to hear your feedback, or reach out to us and let us know. And if you haven't followed us yet, you can. You've got Justin and Joy Ford both on Instagram and Facebook, and you can also find us at Real Ron Uncut. Got another great episode in store for you today. We're both wearing our Justin Ford team shirts here.
Yeah, it's underneath this long hair I have.
Yeah. Joy is a part of the Justin Ford team, not just in marriage, but in business.
I'm forced. I can't go anywhere, guys.
She is a lifer.
A lifer.
Yeah. There's a lot of things obviously taking place in our real estate market. If you are currently a homeowner and you're, staying put where you are, you're probably not thinking about this much, but we know that there's a lot of renters out there that are currently renting. And we've heard a lot from renters, because we work with a lot of renters thinking about buying, is it a good time to buy? Or I think I'm just going to wait until interest rates come down. Or, oh my gosh, it's hard to purchase a home right now just because it's a very challenging, tough market, if you're looking to buy. But Joy and I want to actually today give you the 5 reasons why, if you are currently renting, that you need to purchase a home. Because if you rent, you're not an owner, right? And you're basically building equity for somebody else.
Someone else.
And we rented for a long time. When we first got married, we purchased a home. And then we went through the crash of 2005, 6, 7, 8, right? We experienced a big downturn in 7, 8, 9, 10 maybe. It was tough. We lost our house to foreclosure. We really went through some financial tough times, and then we rented for like a long time.
Oh, yeah, our credit was hit from losing everything.
Well, it wasn't even that, because we had built our credit back up, but we just, I don't know. I think we just got comfortable renting.
Yeah.
And we look back and we spent like hundreds of thousands of dollars over a period of 10 years, maybe more than 10 years renting.
Yeah.
And, at least myself, not you, but my dad, he's never owned a home. He's been a renter his whole life, and he's 63. And when I grew up living with my dad, even though my mom and my stepdad, when I was younger, did own a home, renting was just like normal. And so I think when you come from a family, or you grew up renting a home, maybe you don't think too much of, owning a home. Not that that's 100% the case, but I think we rented for a long time and never really pursued home ownership again. And now that I look back, and I'm like, why didn't we do that?
Some people are just fine renting. They rather not have the
hassle. And
if things break or things start not working, and the financial cost of owning, your own home. There's financial. Yeah, there's things you have to fix and get done and keep up with.
But I think the pros outweigh the cons, and I think the benefits definitely outweigh the possible non-benefits. And so we're going to give those to you guys today, because Joy is actually our buyer specialist. And so between Joy and I, we do a lot of real estate, and I primarily work with the sellers, and you primarily work with the buyers. And so we're going to talk about, if you're a renter today, why you should really consider purchasing a home.
Right. And those are two totally different avenues of, working, is like when he's helping sellers and I'm helping buyers. And, I see so many other different things that happen on the buy end. So it can be very tricky.
Yeah.
At times.
Yeah. It's very important to work with someone who knows what they're doing.
Right.
And so I think the number one reason out of the 5 reasons why, if you're a renter, you should be an owner, is equity building. When you own a home, you're actually building equity, which just means, let's say you buy a house for $400,000 and in, 5 years it's worth $450,000. You've built $50,000 worth of equity that if you were to sell your house, you get to keep the money. Tax free, pretty much. And again, you'd want to talk to your tax accountant by this, but based on our knowledge of understanding, is if you own a home and it's your primary residence 2 of the last 5 years, if the profit that you make is within a certain range, you don't have to pay capital gains or taxes on it. Again, consult your tax accountant for that. We're not tax specialists or accountants. But you build equity, which says when you buy a home, your mortgage payments contribute to building equity, which is a form of forced savings. Over time, as you pay down your mortgage, you own a larger share of your home.
We've seen a lot of that in the last couple of years with people selling because they had so much in their home that they were able to take that out and buy a home cash and no mortgage. And I mean, there's been tons of sellers selling because of the equity in their home, and it just, whether they had to move out of state or they wanted to downsize, and now they're getting a smaller home and they could buy it with cash because of the equity in their home or whatnot, whatever that looked like. But we've seen a lot of that happen in the last couple of years. Yeah.
And even for us, we bought our house in 2020. It's 2024. And we've built, 50% equity just in 4 years, which when you rent a home, you are paying for your landlord's equity. Think about that. You're paying their mortgage payment. And so you're building their equity. So that's the difference, is when you own a home, you're building your equity. When you rent a home, you're building your landlord's equity, whether it's a house or an apartment. Same thing. Number 2, owning a home versus renting creates stability. Homeownership provides stability since you're not subject to the whims of a landlord. You have more control over your living situation, including the ability to make improvements and avoid unexpected rent increases.
Oh, I have a story about that.
Go ahead.
Do you remember we were renting a house in Allen Park, and the owner was like an old lady? Well,
and she
had some health issues. We loved her. She loved you.
Yeah. All the old ladies, for some reason,
they
love
do.
Me. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you come on, move tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they loved us. And then she had health issues and she passed away. And then now her daughter was handling the house, and she was crazy.
Psychotic. And we're not saying that, she really was.
She would show up at the house at midnight, knocking on the door, blood on her hands. Like, can I hide in your basement? I'm like, what is happening right now? I said, Justin, we need to move out of here. And it was scary because we had the kids and we had our newborn. I'm like, this is crazy. It's not what we signed up for. We need to move out of this house. And so as a renter, you felt kind of pushed, we felt we had to get out of this house. There's no way we're going to be being handled by the daughter who is psycho.
Yeah. And when you buy a house with a mortgage, your payment is the same if it's a 30-year fixed or a 20-year fixed.
Right.
For that many years. Whereas if you rent, let's say you rent and your rent's $2,000 and you've signed a year lease, they could bump it to $2,200, $2,400. So you're subject to those increases.
And the daughter was trying to hire.
Oh yeah, she was.
I remember.
And we heard, because she was known in Allen Park.
Yeah.
By police and other people, she was a psycho. But she was the only kid
that could take over that old lady.
And I remember
she had a bunch of properties.
And I remember her saying she did not want to leave everything to her daughter, but her daughter was the only heir. So everything went to her daughter.
Oh my word.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. So definitely stability. When you own, you're in control. Number 3, long-term financial benefits. This is good. Historically, real estate appreciates over time, meaning the value of your home can increase, providing a return on your investment. Additionally, like we just talked about, fixed rate mortgages can offer predictable housing costs. So I wish we would have learned this more when we were younger. And I'll use Jeff Glover as an example, which I appreciate his example. Jeff purchased his first home when he was like 20 years old. And he purchased it for like 300 and something thousand. And what Jeff's philosophy is when it comes to real estate is you never sell your home. You buy your next home and rent your existing home out. And over a course of, let's say, 20, 30, 40 years, you might have 5 or 6 houses that you've lived in that have all built equity over that period of time. You have renters paying your mortgage payment in all of those houses. And then those go towards your retirement when you decide to sell them or leave them as an inheritance to your kids or something. And I know, like, we actually lived in one of Jeff's houses while we were renting when I first joined his team. We had to get out of that Allen Park house. And so we moved to Plymouth and we ended up living in his house. And, his house is appreciated over $300,000 since he purchased it. And that's what happens when you buy a house and you hold it over time, your equity is going to increase. And so that's another strategy as well, is you can purchase a home, rent it out if you decide to move, and purchase another home. And now you're building equity in multiple houses.
Right.
You can't do that when you rent a house.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm
She's just looking at my Band-Aid. I almost cut my finger off last night.
I know he's bothered by this Band-Aid. I'm looking at him like messing with it. He was like so excited about the steak that I grilled, and he was cutting into it. And when he cuts, he's like putting full pressure. The muscles, all just, and all of a sudden he jumped. He like freaked out and jumped. And then
Joy's like, oh my gosh, what happened? What happened? She thought I cut my finger actually off.
I thought he cut the whole thumb off. And luckily it's still attached and he's okay. But
I'm okay. I didn't.
If you see him messing with that, that's what that is. That
Band-Aid. It didn't come all the way off. Thankfully. Number 4 advantage of owning a home versus renting is tax advantages. Homeowners actually can deduct mortgage interest and property taxes on their federal tax returns, which can reduce the overall cost of home ownership. So when you rent, you're paying 100% interest if you think about it, because you're not getting anything in return. Whereas if you own a mortgage in today's market, let's just say your rate's around 6.5%, 7%, at least you own the home. And the benefit of owning a home is you might have a higher interest rate today, but you're building equity. And if down the road interest rates go down, you can refinance. So you can lower your payment, which you can't refinance your lease.
Right.
And you're definitely never going to get a lower
contract and have,
but it's always going to be higher. Yeah, it's never going to be lower. And so that's definitely something to consider, is there are tax advantages for you owning a home. And then the number 5 reason why you should own a home versus renting a home is personal freedom. Owning a home gives you the freedom to personalize your space, make modifications,
upgrades,
and truly make it your own without needing permission from a landlord.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's so... You can make your home.
You don't have to ask a landlord, can I paint the house this color?
Right, which I would tell any renter, don't ever paint that house. You got to put it back the color it was before.
Sometimes you do. Yeah, you can't really make a lot of modifications and make it your own. And so there are definitely some advantages to owning your own home. And these were 5 of those things. And so when it comes to buying a home, if you're a renter, Joy, what is one of the first things that you have to do if you want to buy a house if you're currently renting?
You need to get with a lender and see if you can get pre-approved.
And we've got a great lender if you're local or if you're in 26 states.
Right. And once you get pre-approved, you do not buy anything until you close on your home. You don't buy any furniture on credit. You don't buy a new car on credit. You do nothing. You sit and wait patiently.
Yeah, basically.
Until you sign closing docs.
Yeah. And a good real estate agent should tell you that, but your lender should tell you that, because if you were to get pre-approved and you are excited and you go to Best Buy the week before you close
we know
to finance your furniture, your new appliances, you're going to get denied your mortgage. We just seen that happen to one of our agents.
Oh my word. It happens. You get too excited. Like you're like, I'm finally buying my first house. And then a week before closing, you go to purchase the washer and dryer to be delivered the day of, they can deliver it. and they realize you opened a new credit, and now it goes back to underwriting, and now they're like, nope, you've got too much debt now.
Yeah.
Now you have washer and dryer coming to your house, and you're paying for that, and you don't have a new house.
And believe it or not, opening new credit actually lowers your score initially. So do not do that. Yeah. If you're going to get pre-approved, find a house, close on it. Then if you want to go get new appliances,
wash your clothes at your mom and dad's or the laundromat until you get your stuff delivered.
Yeah, you do not want to take that chance.
Save yourself a hassle.
What's the next thing once you're pre-approved that you should do if you're a renter looking to purchase a home?
You need to find an awesome agent, a real estate agent.
We've got one right here.
Make sure,
and she's also beautiful.
To make sure, we know what you're looking for.
Yep.
And to put the right expectations in place on what to expect trying to buy a home in this market.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're looking to purchase a home, and obviously you might, be listening to this podcast and not even in Michigan. Mm-hmm. If it's in Michigan, we'd love to be considered to help you purchase a home.
If it's in another state, we know an agent in another state.
Yeah. We've got agents literally in all 50 states we could refer you to, but you want to find a great agent, especially if you're a first-time home buyer. Mm-hmm. Because you don't know what you don't know. And a great real estate agent is supposed to help you know what you need to know in order to purchase a home. So you need to be pre-approved or purchase with cash. If you got cash, you want to get your proof of funds letter. And then you need a great real estate agent, or you could do vice versa. You could find a great real estate agent, and that agent could help you get pre-approved, or vice versa. But you should never go out and look at homes unless you know how much you can afford.
Yeah, and just because you're renting doesn't mean you can never be an owner. I mean, honestly, you don't ever know until you get with the lender and get pre-approved. And you might have to take care of a couple of things. You might not be able to buy now, maybe in 1 year, but let that be a goal, and put some things in place to get yourself into your own home, because it's so nice to say you own your own home. Yep. It's your house. No one can take that from you.
Yep. And you got to start somewhere. A lot of times as a first-time home buyer, you want all the goodies, right? You want the best of the best because you watch HGTV and you see all the great stuff that homes have to offer. I mean, me and Joy, our first home, it was
nice.
It was nice, but it didn't have all the bells and whistles. We were just excited to not be renting.
I was just happy to have a dishwasher.
Yeah, because we didn't
having 3 kids at home. I was like washing these dishes after every meal, and I was happy to have a dishwasher.
Yeah,
and I grew up with no dishwasher.
I was happy to have air conditioning. Because we didn't have air conditioning.
In Melvindale?
Nope.
Oh my gosh. How did we live?
How did we live? I don't know.
Wait, we had air?
No, we didn't.
I could have swore.
Nope.
There's no way we would have been melting in a house like that.
We were melting. We didn't have air conditioning. Definitely didn't have air conditioning.
It was your bachelor pad.
We lived in the hood. It was literally this ran down.
For not very long, for like a half a year.
I mean, I lived there before you moved in, but yeah.
Well, our first house we bought together had air.
It
had a dishwasher.
A hot tub that didn't work.
An upstairs bathroom, which was, thank God, because I was pregnant, like 8 months pregnant. And I'm like, had to go to the bathroom all the time. And I'm like, I'm not going downstairs to go to the bathroom all the time. Thank God it had a full bathroom up there. It was like heaven.
It had a hot tub that didn't work.
Only for
so we just put cold water in it. We would turn the bubbles on. It
the hot
wouldn't get
tub.
warm.
Yeah, the hot tub came with the house.
We sat in it, and it was like a pool. It was nice. And
I forgot about that hot tub. We
weren't
too familiar with real estate
yet
because I
was doing mortgages.
Yeah, I would have made sure that hot tub was in working order and inspected all of it.
We were just excited to.
Yeah, we were like, oh, a hot tub. It didn't even work.
Yeah,
we didn't get it inspected. We had no idea.
Yeah.
We turned it into a cold tub.
Yeah.
It was gross, actually.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But the kids didn't know. They're like, oh.
Yep. And then
had a lot of birthday parties. We had a long driveway, so it was really cool.
We had a 3-car garage, and I worked out of one of them. Mm-hmm. It was my office doing mortgages.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We had one into an office.
But we had a lot of great memories there. We had Tiara. She had just been born.
Yeah.
And we lived there, and so
it was a great first house, I would say. Yeah. I was happy to say that was a great
But you got to start somewhere. And I think, we started with that house, and now we're real happy with where we are because we've learned along the way, and you just kind of build,
Now I'm ready to sell and downsize and have a small little place. And he's like,
I love our house.
If we're going to do anything, we'd have to rent it out so we can buy somewhere else.
Yeah.
Just like we're teaching.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. So what else I think the next thing that a buyer would need to make sure that you do with your real estate agent is a buyer consultation.
Yes.
And the buyer consultation is where the agent goes through everything with you, sets the expectation of where the market is, what's going on, how much money you're going to need as a down payment, earnest money deposit, potential, appraisal guarantee, escalation clause, what to know about an inspection. You're going to be probably competing with multiple offers. You need to know going into purchasing a property, everything that it's going to take and what you're up against. Because all too often buyers go out, they're working with a, amateur real estate agent. The agent is not setting the expectation of what to expect. You get out there and it's like a den of wolves, and you're just being, you're competing. You don't know what's going on. You're being asked to do X, Y, and Z. And you're like, why wasn't I told this before?
Right.
And rather than this first time home buying experience being a great one, a memorable one, it becomes a nightmare. And we've seen that before. So you want to make sure that your first time home buying experience is memorable and not a nightmare.
Right. Good.
What else would you say, Joy, to those that are listening that might be considering buying a home, that are renting? Anything else?
No, I feel like those are really very important things to know before. Yeah, I don't really think I
think just being realistic of your budget and your expectation of starting
somewhere.
Like
if you are approved for X amount of dollars and you can't do an appraisal guarantee and do a really high EMD and give sellers some time in the home and whatever. If you can't do all these great things, then we're not going to look at homes at that purchase price, at that amount that you're pre-approved. We're going to go a little lower.
Lower, yeah. Just to make sure you can afford it.
Yeah, and come in stronger.
Yeah. That's good.
Unless there's a home that's been sitting for a while, we could come in lower as well.
Yeah.
I've done that quite a few times.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just setting the right expectation.
Yep.
And you've taught me well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We work together really well, and just, being realistic about it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
With the clients. So.
And if you want to know what it takes to get pre-approved, or really how to start the process, even if you're not in our local area, reach out to us. We'd love to give you some information and connect you with somebody in your local area. There's not an area in the United States that we don't have relationships with in real estate. We've been fortunate to connect with a lot of amazing real estate agents all over the country. And if we don't know someone exactly, we know someone who knows someone, and we'll give you a great recommendation. And maybe you're renting because your credit is not that good and you just can't get pre-approved. Well, you got to start somewhere. There was a time where Joy and I had no credit because we went through bankruptcy, we went through foreclosure, and we had to build it up. And so we know how to do that as well. So feel free to reach out to us. You can email me or Joy, justin@justinfordteam.com, joy@justinfordteam.com, and we'd be happy to help you, give you some advice, and encourage you along the journey. And you know what? Maybe you can't today, but if you prepare and work towards it, maybe it's a year, maybe it's 2 years. Like us, it was 10 plus years later before we bought our next home, and you want to work towards that and not wait. Here are the 5 reasons why, if you're renting, you should consider purchasing a home. Number 1 is to build equity. Number 2 is stability. Number 3 is long-term financial benefits. Number 4, the tax advantages. And number 5, personal freedom. Yeah. Any final words, Joy?
No.
I know I already asked you that.
I know. You did.
Giving you a second chance.
I don't have a final word.
All right.
I'm holding on for dear life as we send these kids to college. That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah. Yeah, we have 2 that are leaving.
I know.
And we're down to 1.
Whew.
Awesome. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode here of Real Raw and Uncut. Hopefully today's podcast encouraged you. And if you're an owner and you know somebody that's renting, feel free to share this podcast with them. Feel free to share it on your social media. If you haven't followed us yet, you can. Obviously, you can find me, Justin Ford, Joy Ford, Real Raw and Uncut as well. Reach out to us if you have any questions, or you know somebody that needs help with something. We'd love to assist you or guide you forward. And if you need a great mortgage company, because that's the first step really in your mortgage journey process, we've got a great one. Next Door Lending is not only our sponsor of the show, this is our personal lender that we send all of our buyers to here at the Justin Ford team. They have a perfect A+ Better Business Bureau rating. They have over 1,000 5-star reviews. They are the best of the best when it comes to getting you pre-approved. And so if you are a buyer looking to get pre-approved this year, call our friends over at Next Door Lending. If you're a homeowner looking to refinance, maybe take some cash out, call our friends over at Next Door Lending. And if you're a real estate agent looking to partner with a great mortgage lender, call our friends over at Next Door Lending today at 888-885-3667 or visit their website at nextdoorlending.com. 2 things we always like to leave you with. Number 1, it's not how you start. What matters is how you finish. And number 2, with God, all things are possible. God bless you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.